Okay, let's get solving. We're working on Unit 8, Transformations. First, we're going to plot the points A, B, C, and D in this first graph to create a little arrow figure. The coordinates of A, 1, 1, that's run 1, rise 1. B, 3, 3. D, 3, 2. That was D, and which one did I miss? 2, 3 was C. So this is your A, B, C, and D. And we're going to connect them so they look like an arrow pointing up northeast. Do that again 6 times on this front page so that you have that arrow representing the 4 points A, B, C, D. We're not looking for perfection, just looking for simple representation of these points plotted on the coordinate plane. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Once you've plotted this 3 times at the top and labeled the A, B, C, and D points, and also plotted it at the bottom, we're going to work on the front of this paper, and that's all we're trying to do today, because we will be moving this figure right, left, up, and down, and in the last step we'll make a compound, it can also be called composition, movement that will involve 2 movements at the same time. So you've finished creating the figure, and if you look at box number 2, those original points used at the top are rewritten for you here at the bottom. This is asking us to draw the figure again, but translate it 2 to the right. And we discussed that when we're going right and left, we're changing the x value. We're either adding to it to move to the right or subtracting from it to move back to the left. So we'll just say A is what we're going to do to hold that value. This is if we're just going right and left, y stays the same. So we're just looking for that number 2 as the value for how much we're moving. So we write the rule that you start with a point that has xy coordinates. To move it 2 to the right, it's x plus 2. Y stays the same. Now we're going to take that rule and we're going to apply it here to the original coordinate values. A was originally 1, 1, and the y is going to stay the same when we replot the point to be A prime. Remember from Unit 1, the prime mark means I'm the image, not the pre-image. I'm what you're creating second. The pre-image came first. So our pre-image, A, B, C, D, is already pictured. To replot point A, y will stay the same, and the x value of 1 will have 2 added to it for the rule. So 1 plus 2 will be 3. Our new point A prime, we run 3, rise 1, and that would be A prime. For B, the y value has to stay the same, and it was 3. The x value of 3 will have 2 added to it, and you'll have 5. For C prime, the y value will stay 3, and the x value will be 2, follow the rule, plus 2, 4. And to get D prime, we'll keep our x value, we'll be changing. Our y value will keep the same, so we'll put down our 2, and our x value will be the 3 plus 2 is 5. And when I replot all of these, run 5, rise 3 for my B prime, run 4, rise 3 for my C prime, and run 5, rise 2 for my D prime, my new figure has moved exactly 2 units to the right. And that translation is complete. So I'll continue to work this sheet. You'll be able to stop and start as you need to review and skip over what you don't need. I'm moving to number 3. They want you to translate 6 to the left. So now it's going to be x minus 6 to move to the left. Y stays unchanged. Down here I'll keep all my y's the same as they were originally. I'm going to subtract 6 from each x value. 1 minus 6 is negative 5. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. And 3 minus 6 is negative 3. I'll replot these points. Negative 5, 1 will now be the A prime for this picture. Negative 3, 3 will be the B prime. Negative 4, 3 will be C prime. And negative 3, 2 will be D prime. When I connect the points, you can see that from the original light pink arrowhead on the right, it has now moved 6 to the left, and that problem is complete. So now we're on problems 4, 5, and 6. On problem 4, they want you to write a rule for moving that original arrow shape up 3. So now x stays the same, and it's y plus 3. So I'll copy all my x's down just as they are, and I will add 3 to each y value. So 1 plus 3 is 4, 3 plus 3 is 6, 3 plus 3 is 6, and 2 plus 3 is 5. I'll plot the new points. A prime is at 1, 4. I'll put an A prime. B prime is at 3, 6. That's going to go a little bit off, so just kind of estimate where B prime would be. C prime is at 2, 6. Let's put it next to B prime. And D prime is at 3, 5. Draw in your lines. And you've just translated that pink original arrow up 3. Now, for number 5, they want down 5. X stays the same, and your rule is y minus 5. Come in here and copy all your x's again, and subtract 5 from each y value. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. 3 minus 5, negative 2, and 2 minus 5, negative 3. Run 1, rise negative 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Run 3, rise negative 2. Run 2, rise negative 2. And run 3, rise negative 3. And we've now taken that shape down 5, and we have our A prime, B prime, C prime, and D prime. The last example is a composite rule. So for this compound movement, where we're going to go left 4 and up 2, we're going to write a rule that shows x minus 4 means x will move 4 to the left, and y plus 2. Remember, we call this a compound or composition translation. So for these, both values of x and y are changing. My 1 of the point A is 1 minus 4 is negative 3. And my y was 1 plus 2 is 3. That's how I'll get A prime. For B, I started with 3, 3, so I'll do 3 minus 4 is negative 1. And 3 plus 2 is 5. For C, I started with the point 2, 3, so I'm going to take my 2 minus 4 and get negative 2. And my 3 plus 2 is 5. And for point D, which started as 3, 2, we'll do 3 minus 4 is negative 1, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So I'm going to go plot negative 3, 3 for my A prime, negative 1, 5 for B prime, negative 2, 5 for C prime, and negative 1, 4 for D prime. You've completed translating left, right, up, and down, and this skill will be used going forward and in the major grade project.